I'm Harrison Graham, and you're watching Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, I got 5 NFC North predictions for the 2024 NFL season. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. But just looking back at what happened last year in the division, obviously Detroit kind of ran away with it. They went 12-5. Green Bay snuck into the playoffs, went 9-8. Both the Vikings and Bears went 7-10, with Minnesota having the tiebreaker in that regard. Obviously, Detroit went on to the NFC Championship game, should have made the Super Bowl. Green Bay lost a tight game to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round. So the division was better than expected last year, and I think is only going to be better this year. Who's going to win it this year? Before we get to some of my predictions, type CHI for the Bears, DET for the Lions, GB or FGB for the Packers, or MIN for the Minnesota Vikings. Let us know who you guys think wins the division this year. All right, my first prediction. I think 3 teams out of this division make the playoffs, and I think so for a couple of reasons. 1, I think the NFC is pretty top-heavy. 2, I think this division, I think all 4 teams are good, but I think the Vikings are the one team that don't make the postseason. So there you go, official Bears prediction. I do think they'll make the playoffs. I think the Bears, Lions, and Packers will all make it. You think about the NFC right now, right? NFC West, 49ers are obviously going to be a playoff team barring something shocking. Rams, Seahawks have a chance. I think the Cardinals are a year away, but Rams might take a slight step back without Aaron Donald. Stafford's a year older. Seahawks, new coaching regime, we'll see. So I think that division at most gets 2. NFC South feels like a 1-team division, 2 at most. NFC East, kind of same deal, 1 or 2. Maybe Philly and Dallas, but beyond that, I don't think Washington's ready. I think the Giants are ready. So 7 teams make it. I think the North gets 3. One of the other divisions get just the division winner, and then 2 and 2 in the other 2. And I think that's the math to 7. So I think the North has a great chance of getting 3. And, it wouldn't surprise me if any of the 4 made the playoffs, but I'll have the Vikings being the team that's on the outside looking in. Sticking with Minnesota, I don't think J.J. McCarthy starts a game this year. Now, I'll add the caveat of if Minnesota's like 2-8 or something like that, fan bases don't want to watch the bridge quarterback if you're not winning. Like, there's nothing more boring. Remember the Justin Fields rookie year? Like, that's why it pissed me off so much when Andy Dalton was getting all the reps at training camp. It's like, okay, if you want to split reps, I get it. Like, if you don't think Fields is ready week 1, but like, no one wants to watch the bridge guy, especially if you're not winning. So if the Vikings are terrible, I could see it. But, again, I don't think they're going to stink. I think if Darnold is average, he'll start all year because they'll probably kind of lurk where the Bears were last year, where it's like in December, they're not in the playoff picture, but they're kind of lurking in the hunt. I don't think McCarthy's ready to start right now. I think Minnesota will be competitive enough with Sam Darnold. So I don't think JJ plays this year. If he does, you're talking about a couple of starts late in the year, in my opinion. I don't think he starts early. Number 3, I think Caleb Williams wins Rookie of the Year. And quite frankly, he might run away with it. You look at the Rookie of the Year odds right now, he's a healthy favorite at plus 210. Marvin Harrison Jr., second closest at plus 600. And again, non-QBs rarely win this award. Jaden Daniels, I'm surprised J.J. McCarthy is higher than Drake May. I don't think May starts week 1, but I think he starts earlier than McCarthy. Got a bunch of receivers otherwise. I think Caleb wins it, and I think he wins it pretty easily. Now, Jaden Daniels is the one guy who has a shot because the NFC East, while I don't think Washington's there, what if Dallas takes a huge step back and Washington, is like the second team in that division and fights for a wild card? Well, I could see Jaden Daniels being in the mix, especially if he, has one of these Justin Fields type running seasons where he rushes for like 1,000 yards and, is a better, passer than Justin, throws for 3,000, has 4,000 all-purpose. Well, in that case, I could see it. But if the Bears are a playoff team, which I expect them to be, and with all these weapons on offense, I expect this passing game to be pretty damn good. Caleb will run a little bit as well. I think he wins Rookie of the Year, and I think he kind of runs away with it. I just don't see, again, Jaden Daniels the one guy, maybe, but I think Caleb has enough around him, enough talent himself, obviously, good infrastructure that if this team's winning games and he's balling out, I think he's going to win it pretty easily. Will Caleb Williams win Rookie of the Year? What say you? Type Y for yes, he will, or type N for no, he won't. I think he does, and I think he does it kind of running away. Like, I think it's like Thanksgiving, and it's like, yeah, he's already won Rookie of the Year. Number 4, I think this is the best division in the NFL. Now, I know you could kind of tie this back to number 1. If 3 teams make the playoffs, yeah, it's one of the better divisions. But I think when you add up the win-losses of all the divisions this year, win-loss, total wins versus total losses, I think the North will have the best win percentage. Now, some of that is because the NFC is is worse than the AFC. So I think the percentages will favor the NFC North. So you could make the argument like the AFC North is actually better, but their win percentage probably won't be as high just because the AFC is more of a gauntlet. But I also just think the North is that good. I mean, last year, by the end of the season, the Lions and Packers were 2 teams that were playing like a top 5, top 6 team in the playoffs. I mean, Green Bay boat raced Dallas, a 12-win team, was on the verge of beating San Francisco, who almost won the Super Bowl. Detroit made it to the NFC Championship game, almost beat San Francisco themselves. And the Bears, by the end of last year, were playing well. They've gotten a lot better. Yes, the Vikings are taking a step back at quarterback, but they still have pieces. Like, there's not an easy out in this division. There just isn't. And the top-end teams have a chance to be really good. Like, it wouldn't shock me if the NFC North had at least 1 team in the conference title again, if not 2, if someone can upset San Francisco. So I think this division is going to be really good. It wouldn't shock me if Minnesota got 4th and the division was like 8 and 9. I really do think these teams are going to win a lot of games. Subscribe to Bears Now by Chat Sports. We publish daily Bears content, news, rumors, segments like this, stacking up where the Bears rack up in the NFC North predictions. I like talking about the NFL as a whole and how it relates to the Bears. So if you want more content like that, hit that sub button. Number 5, I think the Packers are really going to miss Aaron Jones. Like, I really think they're going to miss this guy. Now, I know they signed Josh Jacobs, but Josh Jacobs is just not an electric playmaker in space. He's an in-between-the-tackles runner, get tough yards type of guy that can occasionally pop a long run. He doesn't catch the ball like Aaron Jones. Like, think about last year just watching the Bears-Packers play each other. Go back all the way to week 1. Remember that crazy screenplay they threw to Aaron Jones for like a 70-yard catch? You think Josh Jacobs is doing that out in open space? That's not who he is. They don't have someone who can do that stuff. Like, Aaron Jones' ability in space as a pass catcher, as a runner, helped Jordan Love a lot last season. Like, they're banking on Jordan Love not needing that safety valve out of the backfield because they really don't have that. A.J. Dillon's not going to turn into a pass catcher. It's just not who he is. Like, I thought it was a mistake to cut loose of Aaron Jones and sign Josh Jacobs. Now, I know Jacobs is younger, and there's not a ton of guaranteed money on that deal, and if it doesn't work out, they can get out of it. But if Green Bay was serious about trying to win a Super Bowl this year, I would have kept Aaron Jones. That's just me. Maybe I have PTSD of Jones just slashing the Bears over the years, but been a pretty good player against a lot of teams throughout his career. And I'll say this right now, while I'm not giving my official division winner pick today, I do think this could cost and will cost the Packers winning in the NFC North. I don't think they're going to have an impactful running back that catches the football. And by the way, I know the Raiders were a mess last year. Josh Jacobs is coming off a bad year as a runner. Like, if that doesn't work out, all right, Jordan Love, go make your money because you're going to have to drop back and sling it a lot for this offense to be consistent. And, hey, down the stretch last year, he did that, but they also ran the ball pretty well too. So I'm keeping an eye on that position in Green Bay this year, and I think it could be the reason they're a wild card team instead of a division winner. So, again, I ask you, who's going to win the NFC North here in 2024? CHI for the Bears, DET for the Lions, GB for the Packers, or MIN for the Vikings? I'll give my official division winner prediction closer to week 1. I want to see, what happens in training camp, some of these preseason games. I know it doesn't matter that much, but I just want to, I want to feel some things out a little bit more. But I do feel good about 3 of the 4 making the postseason. I'd be shocked if it wasn't at least 2. So you let us know who you think's winning the division. I'll give my official pick closer to week 1. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. 5 NFC North predictions for 2024. If you want more content, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.